Okay, in this video audio recording, I want to talk about love. What is love? Nowadays it seems like everybody has forgotten the true meaning of what love is. Love is more than just the feeling, okay? It's more than just pleasure. Love is a lot of things. Love has to do with doing not just what feels right, but you got to go beyond that. You got to go with what is right. But you can't truly love somebody the right way unless you have insight and wisdom, true wisdom, in the highest form of how to love somebody, how to treat somebody. A lot of times we have a tendency to become very selfish and, self-seeking, only worried about the pleasure we can get than the pleasure we can give others, you see. That's when we corrupt ourselves. Love is not just sex and all that. Not that there's something wrong with sex, but everything has its use. And when you step outside of, boundaries and you break the rules and you start committing all kinds of abominable crimes just for a little pleasure, for lust, then you're basically heaping upon yourself serious judgment, okay? So, there's a lot of men that, have, or males that have, a significant other, a faithful wife, and they still want to have extra, marital affairs. And, you have a faithful wife that's wondering why is it like this? It might not be fair. And so, a lot of people get hurt over that. And sometimes, people don't want to let go, don't want to own up and confess a lot of their sins, a lot of their errors. And so a lot of these women and men have a lot of, problems and blood over their heads because of unfaithfulness, unfairness, and that type of stuff. All right. So, yeah, love is doing what is right. Okay. You could love somebody. All right. You could love somebody, but it's not necessarily a given that they're going to love you back in return the same, or whatever is the case. Now, for you to hold on to somebody that doesn't love you, understand, you're willing to die for them, you might even die for them, and who knows in the past, but if they don't love you the same, maybe, you learn a lesson that, that individual wasn't for you, you just got to let go. And I believe in love is about choice. Let the individual choose. They're free to, maybe some people are scared to love as much as they want to because they've been hurt. They're scared not to receive that love in return. But the thing is, when you got bad romance, bad relationships, the thing is, you want to make sure the individual knows what they want, what they expect. And yeah, you got to make sure that the individual's in a stable place. They're single. They don't got no drama, no love drama. Because a lot of beings nowadays, they got a lot of bad romances and stuff like that. All these weird connections to, it's just, it gets crazy, and people are just out there on some reckless stuff, And it seems that they're looking for anything to fill the void, the lack of love inside, the lack of light that they have. So they use these external pleasures and these pleasures that aren't bad, but they use these things to fill the void inside. They whatever they can to fill the darkness within them. Even if it's just a little ray of light that they get, from loving somebody, pleasure, whatever it is, connecting with somebody. But, love, like I said, it's not just all these things. Love, it comes in many forms, okay? Discipline, you could discipline somebody. Love is also, a form of discipline, but some people take this discipline too far, to extremes. You see, you never want to, when it comes to doing the right thing, love and all that, you don't want to take things to extremes. When it comes to discipline, you don't want to take it too far, pushing yourself, punishing yourself, because then those extreme ways are what corrupts you in any area of your life, So love is always measured. You always want to measure yourself. You never want to take things to no extreme. Love is doing the right thing, but like I said, if you don't have the knowledge and insight, the common sense, or some say that common sense is not so common nowadays, whatever. But yeah, if you don't know how to apply a bit of insight and discernment and judging righteously, then you're not going to understand love on a greater level, on a higher level, okay? It's real easy to lose sight excuse me, of what love is. That's why you need to, cultivate these good things within you as human beings, and you want to, take it to the highest peak, to the highest, the oneness of it all, whatever they say. And you want to, really, really vibrate as much as you can within the essence of love in its highest form, you see, in its purest form. And I don't think a lot of individuals could do that. But yeah, some of us understand love to a greater extent than others, A lot of things could make you, corrupt you if you're not cultivating the good things in life. To be carnally minded is dead, right? That's what the scripture says. So if you're thinking carnally, if you have a part in you that's carnal, that's just focus on a pleasure that becomes carnal, like, right? Your mind is on something carnal, not necessarily on this lower realm, but like it starts to, something divine becomes like, I don't know, could be seen as like, okay, this is a type of tendency that could be operating in a low vibration, right? This type of love that's emanating may not be a healthy love, Letting go of what is hurting us is not easy, but you got to do it, You got to let go. And it comes down to making a decision. What do you want to do? If I'm holding on to something that's hurting me, it's like me picking up a rose, right? With thorns and all that, and I just grab it, right? Just holding on to it. And my hand is bleeding, I'm hurting, but I don't want to let go. I went through a lot of trouble to pick this rose up. But yeah, you're hurting yourself, Either you prune the rose, you make it as it should be, if you can. If you can't, then you need to let go of it, because you're going to keep hurting your hand, right? And yeah, go find you another flower that's, not thorny or bushy, as they say. And I don't know what's going to happen with the rose. Maybe somebody else could manage to get the parts off of it off. Maybe not. I don't know. But the thing is, you don't want to hold on to a type of love that is not operating in what is right, okay? You don't want to hold on to things that are not right. You don't want to go out of your way and start doing whatever for love, right? Like I said, taking extremes for love. Like, yeah, I'm going to prove this and that in the name of love. And you make a mess out of things just to prove that you love one individual. And that's fine. I get that concept. But at what cost? What is the cost? What did all this bring about? Ask yourself, I went to prove a point and I made a mess of things. And that is, looking back at it, you might be like, man, that was kind of selfish on my part and kind of reckless. So trying to win something that probably found out it wasn't even mine, it wasn't even right for me. And now, look at the path I laid, all kinds of, actions that can be questioned as to what was I thinking, maybe I went about this the wrong way. When you're contesting for something, sometimes you think that what you're doing is justifiable, but you got to consider everybody else involved, not just yourself, you see. So when you do that, you always want to make sure you do that before you do anything. You go out to prove anything. Consider, okay, who's involved. I want to make sure that I'm not just gonna go out there on some reckless stuff, and not considering who's involved, because you don't want to hurt nobody. You don't want to endanger nobody. You don't want to play with nobody's well-being, just for your own personal sick game or lack of thoughtfulness. You see, so yeah, you always want to check, evaluate what it is you're doing before you go out and do it. Okay, so for example, if there's a contest and there's, I don't know, somebody involved, and the objective is to get to that person or whatever, win that person over. Right away, my first consideration is like, okay, what's the prize, what's the cost, what's this and that? I'm not going to go on some reckless stuff, hurt everybody, destroy everything in my path, or make sure some people get off just to get that individual. That's not how it works. That's pretty sick, if you ask me, and kind of twisted. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it the best way I can. I'll try to go for it, but I'm not gonna step on hurt anybody just to get to that, and then feel okay in my conscience and justify it, like, okay, that was the right thing to do. I had to go through all this. And then you realize that person doesn't even love you the same. You see what I'm saying? So now you're in a mess. You look back, you're like, dang, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have tried a smoother way of doing things, you see? A more civil way, less barbaric way, okay? Because you're hurting everyone else at you're going about your own way at the expense of everyone else. And that, to me, that's not right, okay? Anyone with common sense will tell you that's not right. So always check your expectations. I always know, consider everything, but maybe people don't have that much thoughtfulness. But the thing is, you always want to think things through. It's not easy to think, but, the true children of the immortal souls, the one with the oneness of it all, they have a brain and they could think, okay? And they always consider things before they go out and do them. And like I said, if I'm in a contest and the contest involves me hurting a lot of people just to get something, then I don't know. I might think twice about it. You see what I'm saying? Because the object is to try to win something over in a civil manner. You're not gonna. It's like, imagine, right? There's a contest and I'm stepping over everybody. I step over you. I crush you, destroy you, and then I attain the prize. Anyone with a conscience will be like, wait a minute, that's not right. Like, what about all these other individuals? Is that okay? Does anyone with at least half a brain will understand that that's not right? That's not how things work. And then you consider the reap and sow, right? You reap what you sow and all that type of stuff. So if you're sowing destruction, recklessness, what do you think is going to come back to you? Common sense. But, or there might be an adverse effect to that. There might be repercussions or whatever. But the thing is, you don't want to take things to the extreme just to get something or to prove something, okay? You want to do things in a civil, non-barbaric manner, okay? When it comes to competitions, contests, and all that, So, for example, if somebody gives me a gun, here's one bullet. You got one shot. Go out there and do it. You know what I'm going to do? But, this is not for normal brains. This is for, you transcend, those beings that transcend these realms. Look, you take the gun, take the bullet out, put it in your pocket. You use the gun. No bullet. You're not killing. You don't have to kill anybody, right? Thou shalt not murder. Take the gun. If you got to use it, you got to pistol whip somebody. You beat the shit out of them with the gun, right? But you don't kill them. You just beat them. Beat the people that are in your way. If they're obstructing you, they're in your way, and you're going about things the right way, and they just want to obstruct you and block your path to where you need to get in regards to this contest, then if you have to use force, remember, you can't kill, right? Thou shalt not kill. So you got to stay true to your own laws, regulations, commandments, They reflect back on you. Whatever you put out there reflects back on you, the universe. So can't be hypocrite. So like I said, take the bullet out, keep the gun, pistol whip your way through whoever wants to get in your way. And yeah, people get hurt, but they don't die. You see what I'm saying? You're hurting people, but they're not dying. You see? Now, if there's a necessity to use that bullet, if you have like a need, a righteous need, and righteousness, I'm not saying you gotta consider too, what is the right thing to do? You see what I'm saying? So, if doing the right thing, okay? So, if I'm doing the right thing, if I need to use this bullet, you use the bullet, right? You kill the person that is in your way. But here's the thing. If you're an individual that's maneuvering through the game, through this contest, and you know, you're more than just pistol whipping people. You're beating them to death with the pistol, right? You're going extreme. You're killing people, innocents, just to get to the top. And then you already got a bunch of murders, right? With the gun without even firing a shot. And then you got an extra shot, and the last guy that's standing before you, you shoot him, you kill him, right? So look at all the innocent blood that's in your hands, right? The innocent blood that is in your hands. So who's justifiable in that? You think we could honor the one that got to the top by murdering, rampaging, killing, pillaging his way to the top? Or you think it's more noble and honorable and smarter and more intelligent, wiser, and more sane, more sane, despite what it may look like, more sane, to recognize the individual that won the game without firing the shot, without killing anyone with the gun while he was pistol whipping him. He just hurted them. And, when it came to the last individual, he might not even have to fire the shot. You see what I'm saying? He pistol whipped his way to the top. So all he did was beat the people down with the gun. He kept the bullet in his pocket. But if he had to use it to the last individual, then you use it, right? I mean, but you use it, but you got to evaluate the expectation. If that individual has done nothing to you, if that individual is innocent and whatever, then remember, you will not kill, okay? You will not, unless it is a justifiable kill. If the individual that's standing before you is wicked, it's got more dirt, more sins, more crimes against them and stuff like that. So it comes down to weighing whose got more innocent blood, right? Or more sins against them and stuff like that. So if I got a bullet and, on me, and it's a matter of life and death, then I might think about using the bullet. But if he's just in the way, it's just an obstruction, there's no need for me to kill him. I could just, like I said, pistol whip my way to the top, and that's it. And if I find out that, these other individuals that were standing in my way have all kinds of sins that they need to be addressed for, abominations, crimes that they committed, then I let somebody else in charge handle them or whatever. They'll be evaluated, right? But I'm not going to, like I said, break the rules, so to speak. The thing is to maneuver your way to the top without harming, without killing anybody. If you have to hurt somebody, then they're just obstructing you, then you gotta move them out of the way. But you don't want to eliminate people to the top and have a whole bunch of blood on your hands and then think that that's somehow justifiable, If that's the objective, then, like I said, if that's the way you think, you evaluate two individuals, right? The one that's butchering his way to the top or the one that's operating real smooth. Both of them got guns. Both of them got one bullet. One of them probably, both of them do not kill anybody. They're just whipping, hurting everybody. And when it comes to the individuals, they got their last obstruction on the road. One of them is thinking about using the bullet, right? The one that lives it's by violence the most. So he's thinking, I got one bullet, I might as well use it on this last one. The other one is thinking, you know what? There's no need for me to use a bullet if I'm beating everybody up just with the pistol, beating their ass with the pistol. So, and you think about it, remember, you can't consider the rules of the game too. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not, all those, the commandments. So one of them is going about it the right way, both of them. But when it comes to the last individual, one of them breaks the big no-no, thou shalt not kill. So he's already in trouble now. He got his way to the top. He's at the top. He killed the last one, but that was because he wasn't thinking. He got carried away. You see, his true nature was shown, that he is reckless. He wasn't thinking clearly. He got caught. He realized he made a mistake. The other individual thought about it more carefully once he got there. See, the one was excited. Oh yeah, I got a gun. I got one bullet. Let me kill this dude. The other guy's like, wait, hold on, wait a minute. He was probably thinking the same thing too. Maybe I should. It's like, man, I got one bullet. I was gonna use it, but then you remember the commandment, thou shalt not kill. So maybe I shouldn't use this bullet. If there's the last guy standing between me and the top, and I got all the way here without even firing the shot, then why the hell am I going to kill this man? I don't even know what he's done, if he's innocent or not. So I'm not going to take a risk. I'm just going to beat his ass with the pistol, get him out of my way, and boom, I'm at the top. So now these two individuals, that raise their way to the top, you look at them, and you're going to judge them based on who's more righteous, who's more innocent, who's more clever. And you see this guy's got a murder on him, the one on the left, and the one on the right. The one on the left was a little reckless and got carried away, didn't think twice, or had the wrong instinct. His instinct was to, reckless, let's just destroy things. So we went with that. The other guy's instinct was like, hold on, wait a minute. Like, his instinct was to think twice. You don't have to kill him. You could just beat his ass and get him out of the way, and you're at the top. So now you got two of them at the spot. So you evaluate them. Who's been more righteous? Who's done things the right way? You look at the individual that got to the top by not... He hurt somebody. Both of them hurt somebody, but he didn't kill anybody. You see? So he's guiltless. He has no murder on his hand to the top. You see? So who's wiser? Who is more knowledgeable? Who's more clever? Who's more thoughtful? Who's more considerate? Who values life more? The individual that got a body on him, or the individual that considered, look, I don't know what this individual has done. There's no need for me to kill him. Why? If I got to the top with just, pistol whipping everybody, unless I had to, unless they both individuals, I don't know. You got to the top, another thing is the other guy used his bullet. So the guy that went to the top without firing the bullet, right? The other guy that went to the top without firing the bullet, he still has a bullet. Mind you, the other individual is, he lost his bullet. So guess what? If it's like a draw, if it's like, okay, it comes down to you two, then guess what? The individual that wasted his bullet early, he don't got nothing to protect himself with. So you got a bullet, and are you going to kill the individual? Or not? It comes down to that. It comes down to, are you going to kill the individual? That's what it comes down to. Is there a need to? You look at them. You look at them, okay? So he's got a body. He already murdered somebody, and are you going to become like him? Now it comes down to, look, you want to be at the top, you could eliminate him, but guess what? Now you got a body on your head, you see? And do you really want to play the game like that? And, what if there's another game and then you're the one that gets it's on the wrong end of that? You see what I'm saying? So the wise thing to do is to not kill. Let the individual stay there, and he's gonna have to deal in his mind. He realizes, look, man, I got a murder on my hands. He's gotta change the way he is and reevaluate his thinking. Reevaluate his thinking and realize that, look, this is not how you get to the top. Can he change? Can he do? So the obstacle is, remember, don't break the commandments when you get to the top. So if you got a bullet, you got another guy standing to you, he used his bullet, you don't want to fall into the same trap that he did, which was to become a murderer, okay? You don't want to do that. Now, if they both going to get to the top and they have a gun, both of them pistol whipped their way to the top, none of them fired a shot, right? They both got the shot, they're looking at each other, and they both got one bullet, and it's whoever draws first, boom, whoever gets to kill each other stays at the top. But remember, the object of the game is to keep the be obedient to the rules. So if you both get to the top, you both have a bullet. The individual that doesn't fire the shot, you see what I'm saying? That doesn't fire the shot, he is the individual that is wise. If both of them don't fire the shot, then they're both in a good place because they're both innocent, right? But if the individual, one of them gets carried away and shoots the other one in haste or whatever, panic, fear or whatever, then he's a murderer. So he's at the top, but now you got to look at it. Can we reward a murder? Can we reward a murder? Can we honor a murder when there was no need to do that? Both of them could be at the top and realize, hey, there's no need for that. Now you got murder in your hands. You got the council. You got counsel over you, assessing you, and they're looking at you and they realize, like, look, man, you murdered an innocent person, right? You murdered an innocent person. So who they're gonna justify? The murder, the one that lives by the gun, or was living by the gun, lived by the gun at the end, or the one that refused to fire the shot because he knew the rules to the game were not to kill. He didn't get carried away. He didn't let his emotions or his instinct lead him to do the wrong things. So he became a sacrifice, right? He became a sacrifice, kind of like the story in the Bible, Jesus Christ, kind of like the story of Jacob and Esau. You have Esau living by the sword, the gun. So who was more clever? The guy that rather become a sacrifice. He took the shot. He let himself get killed, but he didn't die. You see what I'm saying? They thought they killed him, but he did not die, okay? Remember, your soul's immortal. Or, you're all with the oneness of it all. So now they're looking at this guy. Who's at the top? A murderer. You got a murderer at the top. And then the other one comes back, and the council judges. Who do you think the council is going to judge in favor of? If it's all about doing the right thing. The one that got carried away and fired the shot, he's in trouble. He's the one that's going to, be removed out of the top position because he didn't play it right, He got set up. He got tricked. You see what I'm saying? He got tricked into committing a crime, or either that or he got carried away. He didn't play the game right, whatever it was. He basically got carried away. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna get. You don't want to trick nobody into murdering somebody. That's attempt murder. You don't want to do that because then you have that. If that's your intentions to trick somebody, then you're already in trouble too. Both of these you're a murderer at heart, right? If your intention, you got to check your intentions. I've been saying that to people. If your intentions are to trick people, to get them in trouble and all that, then, and even though they're innocent, like if both of them are racing innocently and they're at the top, your intentions are to trick them into killing you, you're tricking them into being a murderer, then you're just as much a murderer as he is, because your intentions were to lead him into sin, when your intention should have been to just, let him decide for himself what he wants to do with that last bullet. If you know for sure that you're not going to put up no defense, it's up to that individual to be his own influence and him decide what he wants to do with that bullet. Now, if he gets carried away and shoots the bullet, then that's on him. He's got an answer to the council for that, because the objective of the game was basically get to the top together without firing a bullet. Okay, that's what it was. Coming up, thou shalt not kill. One of them got carried away or whatever it was, and so the innocent one, they're gonna rule in his favor because he's innocent, right? He's innocent. He played the game right. He got to the top. He didn't put up no defense, and they killed him, so he's coming back, and the council is going to judge in favor of the innocent one because thou shalt not kill, you killed, so you're already disqualified from the top. Now, if the intentions of the one that's in the top, the innocent one, if his intentions were to get the other individual, set him up so he could become a murderer, if those were his intentions, then he's just a wiser murderer than the individual that shot him. You see what I'm saying? So they're both One is a smooth criminal. I guess the other one is a reckless criminal, right? But they're both could be judged as murders based on the intentions of the one pretending to be innocent. Okay, so and I guess it ends in a draw like that. But it's supposed to end in a draw. You see what I'm saying? The objective of the game is to, if you want to win somebody over, you both get to the top and you do it the right way with the right intentions. Because if you don't have the right intentions, if you don't do the right thing, then it's not can't be justifiable, right? So if you do what's right, you play it right all the way, regardless of the outcome, whatever, then you're innocent. You're innocent, okay? You're innocent. But if your intentions are to mislead people, to trick them like that, right then and there, like Satan, right? If your intentions are just to trick people into committing crimes, well, guess what? You're a murderer already. You're just a slick murderer, but you're already in trouble because you got a lot of guilt and blood on your hands based on deception, okay? Because your intentions were always to hurt people, whether directly or indirectly. So you're already just as much guilty as the guy that fired the shot. Or who knows? Maybe the other guy could be justified in the sense that he got tricked, and maybe he wouldn't have fired that shot. He wouldn't be a murderer if the other individual's intentions weren't to mislead him. You see what I'm saying? So maybe it's the one that looks like he's innocent, but really in his heart he had to set him up. But the other individual didn't know better. Maybe he's innocent in the sense he didn't know better. He didn't know how to operate. He was inexperienced. He didn't know that if he do it again, he wouldn't have fallen for the same tricks. You see what I'm saying? Maybe he would think twice and realize, okay, maybe I got set up. Now I know that you're not supposed to. You always think twice and don't use. Now that you know the game to the rules, you don't kill. Well, then you just don't fire the shot. You pistol whip your way to the top. If another individual pistol whips his way to the top, you're both there. Okay, you're both at the top. But if the individual's intentions were to set you up and mislead you and make himself look innocent, but to make you look like the murderer, then that individual's in trouble based on his intentions. So if his intentions weren't right from the start, or his intentions changed, he went from an innocent person to a murderer at heart. Okay, so I mean, yeah. Anyways, not to ramble, I'm using this concept of love. Like if you love something and you got a race to it, you want to play by the rules, and you wanna always consider everybody involved. And just because you're given a bullet, you got a weapon, doesn't mean you have to use it. You see what I'm saying? So they give you right away. If you know the rules to the game, thou shalt not kill. You got a bullet. You know that if you don't have to use it, right? Or there's no way. Maybe like I said, the thing is, don't use it. There's no change in the rule. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. And those that are deceitful and have intentions to set other people's up and to become murderers are just as guilty based on their intentions, They're just murderers at heart, more subtly. The other exploiting the other ones. So always check your intentions. Always play by the rules. The objective is to both get to the top. All of us get to the top without firing a shot. But you got to use force. You got to use force. You got to pistol whip somebody, beat their ass. You got to beat their ass to the top. You just beat the shit out of them, and but don't kill them, right? Thou shalt not kill. You just use force, and you get to the top, and you got a bullet with it. You don't fire it. If the other individual fires it on some reckless stuff, then that's on him. But you don't want to set him up, and because I'm gonna set him up just so I can stay at the top. Then you're a murderer already. Both of you are basically disqualified. Both of you end in it's a draw. You're no better than him, even though it's apparent that this guy's a murderer, but your intentions were to set him up. So you're in trouble there. You got to live with that. Only you know that inside you. The other individual doesn't know that. So you got to check your intentions. You didn't play the game right. You should have just let him make up his own decision. And if he had pulled it or not, then you both at the top. And that's how it is, man. The objective is for everybody to come up without hurting each other, without killing each other. And if you have to hurt somebody maybe to kind of move out of the way, they don't want to move out of your way. Don't just hurt him to get him to hurt him. No, if he's obstructing you and you need to kind of use force to remove him, then you move him out of your way, you know. You beat his ass, pistol whip him, whatever. But these two that are racing to the top to get to something that they love or whatever, they see the true love, the correct love. This is what I'm getting at. The true love is, you might have to get a little violent and aggressive, but the thing is, if you know the rules to the game, that you're not supposed to kill, you just, maybe you could use that gun to pretend it has you can use that gun to pretend it has a bullet, like a bullet, but really you got the bullet in your pocket. So you're just scaring them. You see what I'm saying? You're scaring the heck out of them. Like, move out of my way. You're pointing the gun at them. Like, get the hell out of my way. Get the hell out of my way. So everybody's getting removed. And basically you're moving out of the way, but you know you're not going to hurt them. And your man, you're like, I don't want to hurt them. I just want to, you know, make them think that I will, but move them out of the way just so they could, you know, fear to get out of the way, stop obstructing my way. And then when you get to the top, what you want to do is, you know, you could, I don't know, maybe put your gun away, leave the bullet down. Don't put up no defense like Xavier did, and let the other individual decide, you know, what he wants to do. If he's going to do the same thing, then he does the right thing. But if you pull your gun out, even though you don't have a bullet, and you kind of alarm the individual, and he does get freaked out of fear, and he pulls the trigger and he kills you, then I don't know. I guess you kind of forced him to commit something that he probably wouldn't have done if you wouldn't, you know, set off a false alarm. You false flag him, so you kind of tricked him into doing something he probably wouldn't have done otherwise. So I don't know. So the objective is to get to a place, you know, you want to remove people, obstruct them, but you don't want to kill them. Even when you're there with somebody else standing with you at the top, you don't want to kill them either, you know. Because otherwise you have blood in your hands, you're a murderer. You can't be justified being on the top, having a whole bunch of blood in your hands. Even if you, like, unless your intentions are good and you're totally innocent, then you can't be justified being at the top. But yeah, if your intentions were, or your actions were misguided, like I said, you're still pointing the gun at the last individual, thinking like, I'm going to trick him, you know, or whatever, like, into firing first, you know, into setting him up, into killing me. But even though I wasn't planning on killing him, then your intentions were to mislead him, and you already turned that individual into a murderer. So you're just as guilty as him based on that. So yeah, the point is, look, when it comes to love, is doing the right thing. Get to the top. Don't fire a shot. Don't become a murderer. And if you got two people at the top, then that's what it is. You got two people at the top, and that's it. There's nothing, you know. The objective is not to have, you know, like, love power. You don't want to love power, control, and all that, because it corrupts. You want to love getting to the top and staying at the top the right way, regardless of what happens. It's about doing the right thing, having the right intentions. If you get to the top like that, then you could pat yourself in the back. You have a right to be proud in doing the right thing. But you cannot be proud in doing the wrong thing and having the wrong intentions, or trying to do the wrong thing. Trying to do the right thing with the wrong intentions. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, it's just a short, I want to say short, but it's a lesson on a metaphor for love, doing the right thing, applying common sense when you're in a contest and stuff like that. And yeah, love. And love is like, I'm telling you, love in a higher essence, it's more complicated. It's more than these. However you perceive love to be down here in this realm, or maybe in these other realms and below, it's more than just, like I say, feeling, touching, tasting, and all that. It's love has to do with doing the right thing, no matter what it is. Love always has to have the right intentions behind it, right? That is true love. That, to me, is a high level type of love. No matter what you do, like someone once told me that I used to work with, no matter what you do, just make sure you do the right thing, okay? And how do you do the right thing? By having the right intentions, okay? So if your intentions are good to do the right thing, then you're fine. It could be like you could have misguided intentions. You think you're doing that, but you just don't recognize it. Then that just comes down to a lack of common sense and understanding, meaning you lack discernment and you don't have a deeper level of insight when it comes to doing the right thing, even though you have the right intentions. It just means that you don't know enough to do the right thing, even though you have the right intentions. But anyways, I know it's sounding too deep. I don't want to get anybody confused. Just a, long video on love, doing the right thing, operating in righteousness, okay? And yeah, you could take a lot of the stuff you read in the scriptures and develop it, take it to higher levels of insight, because we know that the scriptures are distorted. We can't rely on everything that it says there. There's so much stuff in there and outside of it that the only way you can receive this insight is if it's divinely given to you through these forces that are connected to the oneness of it all. So anyways, that's it. One love. Peace to all the brethren out there, and much honor and respect to the righteous ones that are trying to do the right thing with the right intentions and are seeking insight and wisdom in order to have the right intentions and do the right thing, all right? So with that being said, I'm out.